Hi, Aim.
Hi, Eve. How are you?
I'm
Good.
great. I am excited today. We have a
Thank you.
woman who's going to speak about past life regression.
Yes, this is one of my passion things. Jina Seavall is our special guest today. I'm very excited. She's been helping people feel more in tune with their true self and nature since 2002. Before, she worked as in hypnosis and past life regression therapy, but she spent 15 years before as a wellness coach, as a consultant, and she worked with thousands of people.
Fantastic. Let's get Gina on the line. Hi, Gina. Thank you for coming on our show.
Oh, you're so welcome. I'm happy to be here.
Thank you. I can't wait to learn about what you do. I know nothing about it, so
Perfect.
this will be fun.
Thank you for joining us today.
Gina, could you start by just telling us how you got interested in this?
Yeah. So I started doing past life regression after I burned my wellness career to the ground. And I just got totally burned out, quit, and was like, what am I going to do next? And just personally, I've always been on a healing journey. I know I have a lot of programming from childhood that's not relevant. I've always had any sort of inkling about reincarnation, always felt kind of right to me. So as I was working with my own nightmares and anxiety and all of that stuff, self-worth issues, I went into hypnosis as a client. And at the end of my wellness coaching career, I was sending like most of my clients to a hypnotist being like, this is bigger than us, you should go. And so when I closed down that career, it was like, what am I going to do next? And I had even done a past life regression and talked to my spirit guides, wondering what am I going to do next. And just this thought kept popping up in my head of like, the only thing I'm really interested in, like truly interested in, is past life regression and hypnosis. And I didn't want to be a hypnotist. It's weird. It's out there. And I'm like, I just want to be like, in a path that isn't so inflammatory to myself.
I understand that because
Yes, we understand.
Yes, because I even though all through the years I was always psychic and medium, I really more in the past 10 years decided that I didn't care what anyone thought. I call it coming out of the closet for me, because part of me always knew this is what I'm supposed to do.
And I feel like when we make those steps, once we actually take that leap of faith and like trust our intuition and trust ourselves, it's pretty easy. Amy, you probably, with your teaching and stuff like that, it's easy to see in the rearview mirror, like, oh, I've maybe been training for this my whole life. Like I needed to go through those other steps to figure to like get here with this knowledge.
The confidence.
Yeah, and this confidence from that first training, I was like, whoa, like mind blown, all the things we can do with hypnosis.
So Gina, again, someone like me who doesn't know anything about this, can you explain a little bit about what you do and how it helps people?
Yes. So I'll kind of explain it a couple different ways. So first I'll start by explaining a little bit about hypnosis. So the type of hypnosis that I do, some people call it self-hypnosis, right? I think all hypnosis is self-hypnosis, but it's you getting to an incredibly relaxed state. And in that process, your conscious mind kind of gets to the side or puts in the back seat, and we have more access to our subconscious mind. So if you're someone, so in our subconscious mind, everything is stored. Every memory of everything that's ever happened to us is stored there, whether we can consciously remember it or not. And so hypnosis is a way to get that conscious mind to kind of be quiet or not be in the driver's seat, where we can actually access that subconscious mind and those memories. So if you're someone who's freaky like me and you believe in past lives, then the subconscious would hold every memory of everything in every life and every life in between lives. And so that's how we can access strengths and learning and healing in past lives. And that's how we can understand why we chose what we chose in this life.
So there is a theory, sorry, Amy, that people do choose what their next life is going to be and who their parents are.
But yeah, we definitely pick all of that. And the thought is, or at least my understanding of it is that we're all trying to evolve and grow and be more godlike. And in doing that, in learning, it's not only about learning lessons on earth, but it's about embodying and living what we learned in those lessons.
And the
Which,
most authentic,
yeah, yep. And
who we're supposed to be.
yes, exactly. So I think of past life regression as a way to go in and understand more about who we are and what we are and our power. And from that, we can heal so much.
And so many people that I've spoken to, I've been hypnotized myself. I have had also past life regression, but therapies, but really, a lot of people just are afraid of hypnosis. They're afraid that they're just going to think, oh, after this, I won't remember things and I'm going to cluck like a chicken, or they're going to make me do weird things. But you are really still aware. You can't make them do something they don't want to do.
Right.
Can you explain that so that people aren't afraid of any type of hypnosis?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, because that is actually really common. A lot of people's experience with hypnosis would be like my experience, which was like an after prom party and people were up on the stage. And some people would say those people actually wanted to be hypnotized. Some people are more suggestible, of course. I don't know about that. To be honest, I'm not interested in proving it one way or another. But what I do know is the hypnosis that I'm trained in, I can't make anybody do anything. Which is why I always tell people, I refrain from using the word like, I'm going to hypnotize you, I'm a hypnotist. What I say, like in my daily life, is like, I facilitate these sessions so you can access your past life memories. And in order to do that, a lot of us think, oh, I'm not going to remember anything in trance, or yeah, I'm going to cluck like a chicken. And really, the type of hypnosis that I do feels more like a deep meditation. You're incredibly relaxed, but your senses are heightened. So it's not that you can't hear the traffic going by or the dog barking or the phone ringing. It's that you're so relaxed, it doesn't matter. Like if the place started on fire and we were doing a session and it was over Zoom, you would wake up. You would wake up.
Right. If the fire alarm went off, you would leave.
Yeah.
You'd be able to get up and leave. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I've even had clients in a session who are like, I need to pause this and use the bathroom. And it's just a testament to, you don't have to be eyes closed, laying horizontal to be hypnotized. You can get up and move around. We actually go in and out of a hypnotic trance, or that brainwave state, throughout the day, for sure, when we're waking up, when we're going to sleep at night. I can't make someone become hypnotized. I can only create an environment in which they lean and relax into it and just observe what's coming into their mind, what's coming into their awareness, what they feel in their body. If someone said, hey, I want to do a session, my husband, my wife, my friend, my sibling, whatever, really wants me to do it, I wouldn't do the session with them. Like, you call me when you want to do this. It's okay if you want to do it and you're nervous. You want to do it and you're a little scared. Could you ask a few questions? That is fine. But like,
Exactly.
hypnosis doesn't work for people who don't really want to be hypnotized. And that's even true for clinical hypnosis, like smoking cessation. If my subconscious mind thinks that I smoke cigarettes because that's love, because my grandpa smoked cigarettes and he loved me the most and now he's dead, I'm not going to give up cigarettes unless I address the fact that I believe this is love and relaxation and peace and recreation. Like, it's not that that's bad. It's just, if your subconscious mind is holding on to it and this is your only source of love or your memory of love, you're going to need a little bit more work to get in there. So it's not, I mean, a lot of people wish that I was in charge and I could just be like, you're done, you're healed. But that's not.
Yes. And same with anything, even if you just wanted to quit smoking or wanted to quit drinking or wanted to lose weight, if someone else told you to do it, it doesn't work that way. You have to really want to do it. Can I just read really quick a quote that you wrote that was interesting to me, because I have so many clients and I feel the same way. If I don't feel like they're really ready or they want to do it, I might not do it. But you said, I'm quoting, realizing that it's the thoughts and emotions behind a change or habit that will make it stick. You removed yourself personally from the wellness industry because it's designed for its users to fail, which leads specifically to women. And that I quote women, because I hear that all the time, to feel shameful, like a failure or not good enough. So can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah. Yeah. So I'll do the wellness example because this was how I went about my wellness coaching as well. It is not news to anybody that you should drink water, eat fruits and vegetables, and move your body. This is not rocket science. Don't eat too much. Don't overindulge too much. I mean, you can if you want, it's free world. But if you're looking to change that, you need to change your thoughts and emotions about it, because we all know what to do in theory, but we need to understand our thoughts and emotions about it. If I see my workout as a punishment, I'm going to do everything to avoid it, even if I'm not consciously doing it. It'll just get pushed to the end of the day. Oh, I was going to go on a walk at noon, but now we have a meeting. Oh, yeah, I don't need to do that. It's not a priority. And even though a lot of people discount that because we think we are our thoughts, we think our thoughts are our reality. And if we can just step back, the first step in mindfulness, I think, is just understanding that your thoughts are not you, and like just listening to those thoughts. And it's in listening to it when we get still. This can be while you're driving, standing in line at the post office. You can be, in meditation listening. But when we listen to that, then we can start to see like, oh, my thought is that I find exercise boring. I find it a punishment. Oh, maybe I could do something else. Oh, I love to meet my friend for a walk. We're going to do that every Tuesday and Thursday or something like that. Now you're looking forward to it, right? Now we're tapping into your emotions and thoughts about this. And that's what's going to change you, because that's going to change the path that you take. So if you follow that curiosity, if you follow that joy, if you follow the things that light you up and make you feel good, then you're, in the long run, not necessarily in the short game.
So it's changing the narrative. So
yeah, exactly.
Maybe you don't want to go to LA Fitness or a big gym because you don't feel like seeing the people.
But it really is the thoughts and emotions that color our life. I can have this exact same life as my neighbor, but we can feel totally different in those lives. And a lot of times, especially the clients that I deal with now with hypnosis, it's like they have everything they want. They have everything they need. Now they just have to change their mindset about it, because our whole lives, it's like goals, right? Finish this school year, get this degree, now get this degree, now get this job, now get a house, now get a partner, now get a kid, now get a dog, whatever it is.
It's the 3D world.
Yeah, we're taught to strive, which there's nothing wrong with striving. But the mistake is that we think that stuff is going to make us happy. And it might in the short term, but a lot of times that kind of stuff doesn't make us happy in the long term. So again, tapping into those thoughts and emotions, we can understand what it is that we truly want and use our body's intuition to be like, this is what I really need right now. When I have a migraine, I really need a piece of cheesecake. That's just the way it is. Like it feels good. and I have no repercussions from it. I don't get acne. It's just like when you give your body what you need, and you rely and trust on yourself, and you're open to understanding why you're having these thoughts, why you're having these emotions, we can kind of start to untangle that and have the things in our life that are meant to make us feel good, like actually make us feel good. I'm a woman. I love wearing makeup and jewelry and putting on some heels and feeling good. I also love not wearing makeup and wearing yoga pants and all of this stuff.
And watching Netflix all day. And
and so it's like a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
But we are definitely, as women, more marketed to like, you need to fix yourself. You need to look a certain way.
And fix other people.
Yeah. Yep. Fix other people first.
Like they
That's
say,
how it
put the
goes.
mask on,
Yeah.
but we need to put our mask on, like in the airplanes where they say, put your mask on, then you could help someone else. Are there many people that have specific kinds of past lives that seem to bring them to their fears, anxieties, or even their, what they really find and remember that's really, oh, this is what I'm supposed to be and feel?
Yeah. So I would say a misconception is that if I have like a block or, like I'm afraid to come out of the spiritual closet or whatever it is, I'm afraid to be me more. A lot of times people will be like, oh, I must have been killed for what I was. And that's definitely a possibility. But most people don't see violent past lives. It's in that situation where when a lot of times people will show up and be like, I just need to get rid of this block. I just need to get rid of this fear. And really what their spirit guides and my spirit guides and me and them, the journey we go on is usually in that situation, a pretty simple yet very rewarding past life. And it's almost like, but in order to get rid of this fear, you need to grab onto this curiosity, courage, confidence. Here's your gifts. Here's how you use it. Actually, here's how you should connect more with the people around you. They might see that. So it's almost like they see these past lives where they're able to full body, mind, spirit experience the emotions of this past life. And in that, then they gain the strength to let the other shit go. So that's actually really common. People are afraid of the death scene, and most people see a death scene. Some people don't, but it takes them they all go through it in a way that's not traumatizing, because our subconscious mind is, like if I touch a hot burner, before it registers in my brain that it's a hot burner and I need to pull my hand away, my hand is off that burner. That's my subconscious mind. So our subconscious mind comes in and out and gives us these lessons, whatever it is, letting go of fear, anxiety, limiting beliefs. Those are all really common.
I've heard people say, and as a matter of fact, I was attacked by a dog as a child with my twin sister. It was a large German Shepherd, but it attacked us. We still get a little nervous around large dogs. So, but that's this lifetime.
Mhm.
So that also can probably be a factor within this lifetime.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I will, even though what I do is past life regression, it's really just what are you working on? And if it's a relationship, if it's an issue, we can try to get to the root of that issue, like what life did it start in? And sometimes in that case, people will only see childhood memories. And when I very first started out, that would kind of freak me out, like, oh shit, they thought they were going to see a past life and now they're not. Oh God,
Mhm.
they're going to want their money back. But people come out of it and it's like, that is exactly what I needed to see. Now this makes sense. Okay.
I'm sorry. So let's just say that you do a past life regression with me and you find that I fell out of an airplane.
Yeah.
And in this life, I have a fear of heights. How does me, why, how does that help me?
Okay, so if you came in with a fear of heights, which most
Mhm.
most most of the traumatized people that I deal with come in with like way deeper issues, right? Like I am afraid of heights and people will be like, "You do hypnosis and you're afraid of heights?" It's like I got bigger issues I'm working on.
Right.
Say you had a fear of that. Like I've had one client comes to mind where she had a fear of other people driving, a fear of going on planes, it kind of like
Okay.
morphed into other parts of her life. And this was actually, we went to a past life where and in that fear is a lot of control, right? Like if I'm not driving the car, I want to drive the car, that's controlling, right?
Okay.
And control is an illusion because even if I'm driving, someone can slam into me.
Sure.
But it was for her, like the lesson was to get curious. Like in those times, your mindset is to get curious. At the time, she had like toddlers, like 3 really small kids. And it was like all of this stuff you're trying to control. And one way for her, and this doesn't work for everybody, but I think it can work in a lot of situations,
Mhm.
it was to turn it on its head. And when she noticed that fear, instead be like, what am I really afraid of? What can I really control here? what can I do to make this lighter for me and my kids? Or so it's a different way to go about it. If it was in this life, say you had a traumatic landing or takeoff, we could go back to that.
Mhm.
And basically
No.
yeah,
No, please.
and that's like hypnotic suggestions, right? As the facilitator, I'm here to see also if you're getting agitated. And sometimes we get agitated and it's just emotion coming up and out, emotion that's trapped in the body. But I always ask people, what's behind these tears? What's behind this emotion? And then I give them the option. Do you want to move away from this scene and work on it from a distance? Or do you want to stay here? Do you feel like you want to stay here? And most of the time, it's actually pretty rare that someone's like, no, I don't want to be here. But even if they say, I don't want to be here, we can still work on that. Because what we do is we take your memory. So say you were 8 years old, you had an awful flight. I would, Amy, ask you to just describe to me that day. And you would describe the day to me. And then I'd be like, okay, describe it again, but try to get more detail. And when you're in that relaxed hypnotic state, it's easier to get more detail. Mm-hmm. And I just keep asking you that. And we just keep talking about it. Okay. And if you were, once you start telling that story over and over, eventually you start to get tired of the story and sick of the story. And with that, we become less interested, it's my understanding, as the emotion goes down, right? For example, music. If music evokes a lot of emotion in me, I like it. So if a memory has a lot of emotion attached to it, it holds more weight in our mind, in our decision-making, in our behavior. So if you can become bored and tired of that story, it's not going to be a fearful thing anymore, right? I can't fear the monster in the closet and be bored thinking about it. Like if I'm bored thinking about it, I'm not scared of it.
I assume you could rationalize it somewhat also. You know, the reason you have a fear of heights is because in your past life you jumped out of a plane, fell out of a plane, but you're not on a plane when you're on a balcony. I mean, I get, right? I presume you can try to rationalize it.
Yes. So, okay. And sometimes it's enough to be like, oh, that's why I feel that way. And it doesn't apply anymore. Sometimes that's literally enough. Just bringing the unconscious to the conscious. And sometimes it would be in that situation, it would be like, oh, what did you feel as you were falling out of the plane? Oh, that's the same feeling I get now when I'm standing on a ladder. Right. And then we talk about like, how do we release that feeling? And there's just different, I guess, energetic, like healing visualizations that we can do to kind of get that memory neutralized and get that trapped emotion out of your body.
Now, the past lives that I've remembered, like being a Native American woman, and when I don't know if do you tell them, like I looked down at my hands and knew that I was like around 50 years old and I was Native American and I was on a horse and I was on a horse next to my husband and we were just head of this tribe. And first he gets the bow and arrow in his back, then I get mine, he falls off, then I fall off, and detailed memory of this. And then I go down on him, and I don't mean it that way. So Amy's gonna laugh at me, and we're together during that. You don't have to cut it. It could be the same husband I have now, so he would just laugh about it. But it was just, I remember that so clearly that he was, that was a memory, but it wasn't a horrible memory, but it was traumatic. And other ones that I'm not afraid of riding horses now. And I just know that was part of the history of one of the experiences I had in the past life. Probably more so the being a child, running from the Nazis, trying to protect my brothers, and running in the woods, and they shot me. Also, the relief of me coming out of my body, flying above the trees, probably was the most relief, because I felt it. The hard part was not moving to the other side or moving. It was that I was worried about the kids that I was protecting, my two brothers, because I had no parents. But there was also that comfort. But till in this lifetime, sometimes I'll hear someone speaking in German, or I'll see Black army kind of boots. And my husband says that I like clench up, I get nervous around it. So I think there are some things from past life experiences that you do carry with you.
Mm.
Does it affect your entire life? No, but I do definitely have remnants of it.
Mm-hmm. And the same is true. I love the way you put that. And the same is true on the reverse. So if you say you showed up for past life regression and you were like, oh, I don't know, insert anxiety or fear, and you went to that past life and you got that healing, you would come out of it and you would notice all the other things in your life that came from that past life, like the clenching with the boots, or understanding German, or whatever. Like, people have crazy stuff, right? But a lot of it can just kind of become unraveled, and it's like, oh, I didn't even know those two were related. And it's a pretty cool on the thing that stands out most in my experience is actually on my podcast. It's episode 2. It was my very first past life regression. And it was like, I went because I thought I had a fear of commitment, but it was a fear of failure, which it's like, oh, the moment I knew that, it was like, oh, I got that. I'm not, but then from that came like all of these things that I no longer felt in my relationship with my partner, like resentment at certain things he would do, which didn't make any sense. And like things that weren't big enough where I was going to go to therapy for them, but they affected my daily life. So that's actually really common to see all these other areas that kind of get smoothed out when we hit a core issue.
Interesting.
That's fascinating.
So Amy, do you think knowing about some of your past lives, I guess we could have dozens, hundreds, I don't know.
I mean, that's the basic commentary on it.
Okay.
Hundreds, tens, shrug.
Oh no, okay.
Gotcha. No, we die.
So you learning about your past lives, Amy, has helped you understand things you do in this life?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. It
Great.
does. I am a caretaker in every single life that I've experienced, that I remember, of the ones that I do. Caretaker. I'm always helping. I'm usually in some sort of a strong relationship with someone. If I was a male, which I remember that one, that was the farm in Ireland, but I had a wife. But I was, when I do something, I do it, it has to be like perfection. Like that farm had to be great. But my loyalty to my wife, my loyalty to my children, my loyalty to my husband and the tribe when I was in the Native American thing, that is still present in this lifetime, just in a different way.
And so Farmer Amy, you so just to clarify, Amy, as a psychic medium, was able to delve into her past lives without being hypnotized. I never tried. I wouldn't even know how to do it. But so
yeah, I mean, I don't consider myself psychic in any way. Mm-hmm. And to be honest, I would say most of the clients that I see, I'm always like, you're better at this than I am. A lot of them are like, oh, okay. But I'm like, no, seriously, like I do now understand more of my gifts and how they show up. But I think, Amy, to what you said about like just understanding why you are the way you are, I think can be really helpful too, is to be like, oh, I've been like this for lifetimes. I'm not going to try to change it.
Right.
And so if the case was like, I'm a giver, I take care of it, I give too much, then it's like, I'm not going to change that. I'm actually really good at it. I've been working at it for lifetimes. Now I'm going to work on the boundaries. I'm going to take care of myself. And
exactly.
But yeah, and to like, with my relationship with my partner, I've had more past lives as like a single person, someone who wasn't partnered, someone who was very dysfunctional. And so that probably lends itself to why I never thought I would get married. I could not tell you why, but I just never thought I would get married. I just always saw myself as a single person.
Hmm.
And then when my partner came in, I was like, I need to commit to you on every level. And it was really hard for me to rectify that. Like, wait, I'm
Interesting.
this person, but I thought I was this person. But through past life regression, I can see in the 4 lives that I've seen,
Okay.
in every life, I've been like, I want to be with that man. I want to be that man. And it was like in this life, the moment we saw each other, I was like,
Wow.
that's my person.
Yeah. Do you
Aw.
think it's the same person you may have had in another lifetime? I know you talk about, and one of your episodes does relate to the soul group. And when I do a lot of my readings too, I talk about that. The soul group, the same people that we meet again in another lifetime. And they might, how do we recognize them? I always feel like it's through the eyes and the smile, but everybody is probably different. Do you think that that there is a soul group that we meet the same people again?
Um, yes, I do believe that. And I personally don't believe the business of like the the levels of, oh, if you're if you're this kind of soul group, you're doing this kind of work. And it's kind of, on earth we like to be like, oh, I'm an old soul, or I'm more evolved than you. I just don't think that's, I think that something like that exists on the other side, but it's not the 3D I'm higher than you grossness that we deal with here.
No, wherever we are, we try to ascend to a higher self.
Yeah,
So it
that's it.
doesn't matter if you're here or wherever. That's the whole purpose, is us trying to ascend the
Yes.
best we can in this lifetime. But when we go to the other side, we will meet with that soul group, or we will meet those people. And those guides and angels are going to be the ones that are helping us, the ones that are here in this lifetime, the ones on the other side. They're the ones that are our guides, will push us to do our journey, to be our best authentic self.
Yeah, kind of help us execute some of the plan that we came here with, really.
What if there's people we don't want to see again?
I'm working on that.
Okay, all right.
When you find out, we'll
Well,
write a
you know
book.
what? I have people in my life who they're in, in my family tree. And so some people say, like, you picked these people for certain reasons. So for me, being like, I really hope I don't have to live any more lives with this person, is really what I can do there, is try to understand why this person's in my life. If I chose them, if there's a contract, if there's something I can learn, and then release the urge to try to get them to wake up, get them to see stuff, and instead live my life authentically as possible. Because that is, if you're unsure of like, do we have a contract? Why did I pick you? You can be sure that understanding who you are and acting authentically is the plan. That's it. That's the plan. And then dealing with everybody else's backlash, good or bad, is like things that we have to deal with. And that's in the free will category. So we're maybe not prepared for that. But I do think that, they definitely, like our spirit team definitely helps us. And going back to the soul group thing, I think sometimes we do incarnate, and like the people in your biological family might be your soul group. For me personally, what I've understand about my soul group is that I'm not with them on earth, which actually made a lot of sense because I've always felt alone. I've always felt like I don't have the tools to do earth. And so when I learned that, it was like, Alex and I are together a lot, but that's not your soul group. Your soul group, actually, their work for the current life, if you believe in time, I guess, on a timeline,
Mhm.
it's like, I am designed to want things that are different, to live in a way that's different, to do things that are different, to get other people to have a reaction that may or may not push them further down their path, depending on what they're ready for and what they want to do. And so I can't be different. I can't lead in these ways if I'm surrounded by all the same kind of people.
Agree. And I think that's why
Um,
you,
Sorry.
your frequency or your energy connects with more people that are like-minded or like you.
Mm-hmm.
You see and feel those same kinds of things.
Do you have a favorite story you can tell us about a client that went to one of their past lives and what they found, or how it
Yeah.
happened?
Yeah. So the one that comes to mind is probably because I was just texting with her, but this client who has we've become kind of friends, just we've done a few things together. And she has a brother who committed suicide. And, all of the things that we take on, like I should have done this, could I have done that? And she was able to, in the session, after we see the past life scenes, then we go to a space of spiritual guidance, where that's a space where we can ask our higher self questions, our spirit guides, that sort of thing. And every once in a while, someone's relative or old lover or old friend or whatever comes in and they just feel their energy, or sometimes I guess if the person's visual, they might actually see a visual of them. It's really a beautiful thing when that happens, anytime that happens, and that's not uncommon for my clients. But what is so cool is, like, because we're a little bit closer than I normally am with a client, I've seen how this has progressed. And so we've done other work together where it's just like, oh, that's my brother, and they've kind of created this other relationship. Sometimes spiritual people talk about that, like, yes, they're dead, now your relationship is different, it's not over. And it's been so affirming for me to see someone else go through that, because even though I do this work, I have a healthy dose of skepticism. I'm like, is this shit for real? And then I have a client, I'm like, there's no way we could have made that up.
I say that every day.
Yep.
Yeah.
Join the club. That's what I'm saying about like-minded. And I say the same kinds of things to my clients also. Where did I come up with that? Like, I wouldn't have come up with that. There's no way I could have known this. So it does validate that. And it validates for them and for us.
Yeah.
There is something.
I completely, as someone who has gone on and off anti-anxiety and on and off with a therapist, like, I agree with that 100%. It's about, like, finding what can help you with the next step, and it's just good to know options.
Gina, can you tell our listeners how to get in touch with you? They may want to have their own past life regression.
Yeah. If you go to pastlivesandthedivine.com, that's where you can get to my podcast, see what kind of services I offer. That's where you can schedule your session. If you have a question, you can ask your question on that website. There's a link to my Instagram, which is the only social media I'm on. So if social media is your thing, you can click over to Instagram, but pastlivesandthedivine.com is the best place to start.
Wow.
And do you do it in person? And also, can it be done via Zoom or?
Yeah. So I actually just talked about this on my podcast, where I was just doing in person, then pandemic hit, and then I just was doing it on Zoom. And now I still only do it on Zoom because I was working out of my home office.
Last year, I've done pretty much all of my readings on Zoom or FaceTime, and it hasn't changed anything. Spirits will be here. Well, we are connected, all of us.
I agree.
Thank you again, Gina.
Thank you.
It was nice to meet you.
Yeah, you too. Have a good day.
Hi, Aim. What a nice woman. I loved having her on. Fascinating.
So informative, so wonderful. I learned so much.
Really passionate about what she does, huh?
And real.
Yeah. Trying to help people.
Yeah, she was great. Love to have her back sometime.
I hope so. All right, you want to say your mantra and we'll call it a day?
Always. So please be open, accepting, expecting, and trusting, in that order or not. Always practice. And until next time, be well.
Bye, Aim.
Bye.